So good afternoon. I'm Medina Lamostan and I'm going to discuss about the sentences. So what is sentences? A sentences is a word or a group of words that expresses a complete thought and conveys a sense of complete meaning. So there are different kinds of sentences. These are simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence, and compound complex sentence. Simple sentence contains only one subject and one predicate. Although it may have many modifying phrases, it contains one main clause and no subordinate clause. It expresses one idea and it can have only one verb. So, for example, the dog barks. The subject of this sentence is the dog and the predicate is barks. Next is compound sentence. A compound sentence contains two or more main or independent clauses. All the clauses express a complete thought, while clauses of a compound sentence are grammatically capable of standing alone. They are closely related parts of one main idea. Example of compound sentence is I wanted to go for a walk, but it started raining. So the independent clause number one is I wanted to go for a walk. And the independent clause two, it started raining. These clauses are joined by the coordinating conjunction but. Next is complex sentence. A complex sentence contains one independent clause and one or more dependent clause and one or more dependent or subordinate clauses. The independent part is the main clause. So for example, I stayed home because it was raining. The independent clause is I stayed home while the dependent clause is because it was raining. The dependent clause cannot stand alone and provides additional information about why the action in the independent clause occurred. So next is compound complex sentence. A compound complex sentence contains two or more independent clauses, which makes it compound, and one or more dependent clauses, which makes it complex. It is simply a combination of the last two kinds of sentences. So, for example, although it was raining, I went for a walk, and I took my umbrella. So, the independent clause 1 is I went for a walk, while the independent clause 2 is I took my umbrella. And the dependent clause is although it was raining. This sentence combines two independent clauses that makes it compound and one dependent clause that make it complex. So according to their use, sentences are classified into four. So these are declaratory, interrogative, imperative, and exclamatory. A declaratory sentence makes a statement or states a fact. So, for example, the sun rises in the east. This type of sentence simply states a fact or provides information. Next is an interrogative sentence. It is asked a question and is followed by a question mark. So, for example, what time does the train arrive? This type of sentence seeks information and ends with a question mark. So, next is imperative sentence. An imperative sentence gives a command or makes a request. The subject is you and is oftentimes implied. So, for example, close the door. This type of sentence gives a directive and often ends with a period, though it can also end with an exclamation mark or emphasis. Next is exclamatory sentence. It expresses surprise and strong feelings like anger, regret, joy, and it takes an exclamation point. So, for example, what a beautiful day it is. This type of sentence conveys excitement, surprise, or strong feelings and ends with an exclamation mark. So, that's all. Thank you.